Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of FishTown here in City Skylines 2. Where last episode, guys, we did some pretty amazing work right now on getting our brand new tourist island all set up. We have a little community. We have now cargo being able to access the island as well. We have a beautiful little beach. We even have a hotel. We have everything all set up right now except one thing. We have no tourists. And I'm not quite sure what your boy needs to do to get some tourists right now. Where's the tourist button? The tourist button is here somewhere. There we go. We have 0 tourists coming to FishTown a month right now. Maybe it's not the tropical paradise we're expecting it to be. I'm not too sure. But guys, welcome back for another episode right now. I actually did give me some sweet name suggestions for the tourist island. You guys did not disappoint. And today, we're going to leave the island alone. We're going to return to the main islands right now and work with this area and hopefully set up some systems right now which will allow us to build a kind of Florida Keys style end to these glorious bends and trials and tribulations of the curves of the FishTown Island. I'm not quite sure where I was going with that sentence, but I think we got to the correct point that we needed to get to. So if you are enjoying this series, smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you are new, so you do get notified when more episodes do come out. So last episode, I asked you all to give me some name suggestions, and like I said, you did not disappoint. There were so many good names. Some were really weird. I'm not going to lie. Okay, I'm not going to call anybody out right now, but some of them were very weird. But I liked a load of them, and it was kind of really hard to choose from them. And I came to the conclusion, I really like the name from Sir Yasim, 6767. Oh, why is that in your username, fool? And he says, you should name it Turtle Island. And I kind of like that because it was an isolated island for a long time. And was that enough for those Galapagos, I can't even say the word for them, tortoises or turtles? They're tortoises, aren't they? To kind of spread wild and claim the island as their own? Maybe. So I do like the idea of calling it Turtle Island. It's very interesting. Also, from this angle, this looks like a big shell, as if the turtle head's about to pop out. So yeah, it does feel kind of relevant. So appreciate it, Yasin. Appreciate it. So today I want to look at this area here. And I want to be able to access all these islands. And on these islands, I don't want to build skyscrapers. I just want to kind of build nice, kind of expensive, or what would feel like expensive properties. And I think that would be pretty cool. And maybe at the very end, we stick a little bit of a lighthouse. I think that would be pretty sweet. Now, we already have the 4-lane road here geared up, ready to go. So we've just got to figure out what is the best type of crossing for it. Now, I want to do bridges. I want it to feel like the Florida Keys, kind of a vibe that they have going on over there. So we've got to figure out which is the best style of bridge to go with. I don't think doing something like arches makes sense. I don't know if the trusts make sense. Or I just don't know whether I just keep it really bog standard and just do an elevated road. You know what I mean? There's a few options I can pretty much go with right now. We've got the old Grand Bridge as well, which is a little bit way over. It's overkill. Okay, it's completely overkill. So I'm thinking it might just be as simple as just doing elevated roads, and that's technically all I need to do. So if I bring this up to a 10 there, and if I elevate it over, because in reality, the Florida Keys, they're not really that fancy of bridges. They're just elevated roads, aren't they? And I just want to see right now, is this going to make sense? Because I'm about to do this in a straight line. So I don't know if it makes too much sense as of right now. We'll see right now. So if I bring this back down to Earth, and then run it so long, and then ramp it back up to a plus 10. I'm liking this because you get this boulevard-style road that's near the beach. We can kind of trim it a little bit more, and that's going to feel pretty nice. Gives us all this little area at the back here to work with zoning and stuff like that. So I think I can bridge over again, and I think I can do it again, and I think at the very end, it's going to change. So it does feel weird that it is a straight line almost. Oh, okay. This is interesting concept right now because we've got to go above the shipping line. Now, is this a case of where we now think about just changing the shipping route? Or do we really want... Oh, what if we made it go underground on this strip alone? So if I deleted back... Let me just see what would happen. Let me just bring this out a bit more. And then let me just go underground. And then... Obviously... Okay, maybe... Minus 10 wasn't enough. Minus 10 was not enough right there. Right, that goes underground. And will this remain underground? And then I've got a... What am I? I'm now minus 20. Alright, keep this going. Is it really going to have difficulties transitioning? Are you telling me this is super difficult right now for this road to even transition to a certain height? Right, let me put that there. And let me delete you. I think the land might fall away quite quickly. Which is why it feels kind of like super difficult to get that elevation change. I mean, I can anarchy it, right? I know a lot of people don't like me using anarchy, but I might need to anarchy this one, boys, to make it work. Right. Minus 20. There we go. Running you straight in. It's like nothing ever happened. So yeah, we do an underpass there, and then we continue to hop it over there, so we've got the big shipping lane area. I think that works. I mean, I think it only works if there's more ships coming through. I'm not too sure. It looks a bit standard at the moment, but I can always upgrade the bridges if needed. I can always do that. Now, do we need to maintain the 4 lanes at this point? Could we now maybe start to think about getting rid of the 4 lanes, because they do feel a little bit chunky, don't they, at this point? I could kind of bring that to there and then create maybe a roundabout could then take over in its possession. And this is going to be not annoying, but the whole fact that I now need to find the center snap, which is not going to work, kind of annoying. So if I turn... Wait, it's not that snap we turn off. It's the square, isn't it? Yeah, that's centered. Sweet. See, guys, I know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Right, bring you up and over. Quite large. And I might change these, to be honest with you, to like a different style of road. And I think this is now where we just kind of... We go ahead and commit to some type of a bend, which will go there. And then we'll up you. Okay, I've completely missed the bend there, haven't I? Completely missed that one, didn't I, boys? Okay, I reckon what we do is we build the bridge. And then bring this to the ground. And then we'll do a complex curve. That just wiggles in, up and over, and then down. Nice. So I might play around with some alignments still. Let's bring you to there. Some of it probably doesn't need to be as high as it currently is, but that allows us now to access all the way down these areas. Now, I'm thinking, do I just kind of kill off the 4-lane road altogether? Because the more I look at it, the bigger it becomes. And I don't think I need that type of capacity on this road. Okay, that was never going to go well, was it? That was never going to go... Oh, my goodness me. Right. It was never going to go well. Let me redo this. Right, what's happened here? There we go. It was never going to go well, boys. I think we can all agree. We can all agree. Right. God damn it. Up and over. Obviously, that's got to be a bridge. All good, right? Yeah. It didn't work out very well, did it? Okay, so let's get back into it, by the way. So minus 20, keep it going, and then we just want to pop it back up. So we're kind of hoping drops up there, but there is a bit of water. I don't know if that's because it was previously dipped down, or whether it's just easier for me to... I've never known to build a tunnel be so difficult. There we go. There we go. Right. Easy, mate. We have our key system, which is very good. Very good. You could argue it's very straight in these areas. So I feel like maybe a bit of changing could kind of work in our favor a little bit. So what if I was to get rid of you, actually keep you in, go back to normal height, and then choose a strip of road there, and then that's what we bend it to, just to kind of break up from the norm. I don't know if this kind of works. Like that, and then we do the same here. So I can kind of build structure. I don't know if that looks even any good. I mean, I kind of like it, weirdly. I don't want to keep doing that, but I think that might be enough to kind of create something very interesting on that side. We've got that little bend there, and then that just comes to an end anyway. So why don't we squeeze in first, then, the big, glorious lighthouse. Now, there's two variations in the game, if I'm not mistaken. There is the, if I can quickly find it, the tourist variation. And was it a park variant? Yeah. Now, that one's smaller than this one, but that one's also classed as a landmark. That one has 75 attractiveness. That one has 10, so we'll go for this one, is what we'll do. I'm going to use the little alley-style roads, kind of like, not treat it as an old town, but just kind of give me a bit more control, a bit more space to play around with. Let me get off that there. To play around with, just so we can kind of like access areas. Bringing you down. Bring you down. So I'm going to go to there. I'm going to cross this over. And just go to there. We're going to bring this just a tad bit forward again. And then somewhere here, we should be able to drop in the glorious little lighthouse. There we go. Doesn't look amazing just yet. And not until we've built the area all up. We can run you down. I'm going to run you diagonally. And is there enough room to go underneath? I reckon what we do here is we go right round like that. And then does that run diagonal? Well, it will do. So it kind of goes round there, comes to an end there. Nice little area to work with, and then once we get all buildings and like, you know, leisure facilities on, that would be quite nice. So I want to work with the bendy wendy one here first. So I feel like this could work in our favour. Now I really like the idea of using these little skinnier roads. I kind of really like the idea of that because it does give us a little bit more space to play around with. So I'm going to run that going down this way. I'm going to run that going down this way. And we're going to create like a little bit of a commercial area, which I think would end really well. We'll do little connections in, bend you in. I'll do the same over here. And then bend you in. So this is a smaller bend. But it all still works the same. It's got to all feel integrated. It's got to all feel integrated. So we'll do additional walkways. There we go. So just kind of play around with it a little bit. We'll do walkways. It's not going to be a busy road. That's the thing, though. It's just not going to be a busy road. Now, from this, we can extend. So let's just extend you down first. Let's extend you down here first. That's obviously coming down to here. And then we've got more road to kind of progress on. So I'm going to keep that as it is right now. And then I might add a few additional buildings and what. So I want to look at first signature buildings because this is the exciting bit about it all. Now, we could go with like these little suites that overlook areas because I don't want to go skyscraper like this. I don't mind a few elevated style buildings. And these little suites could work out really well. Now, I don't know whether they work out well there. Or maybe we have a little area over here. But these are mixed. So you get a bit of kind of a commercial thrown in as well. We can take a look at some commercial first. And see what would be good. Like little antique stores is quite nice. But probably not the vibe we're looking at the minute. I might just keep it all to B zoning. That's what I might end up doing. But I might... Yeah, I'm going to keep it all to be normal zoning. I think that's probably the best bet. So if I come out there to there. And then we're looking at doing some bendy Wendy's. There we go. And then pretty much all the zoning will kind of get built up from that. Right, I'm going to put them style of buildings then over here. So how big were they again on the mixed zoning? So they're a pretty decent size. It's a shame we don't have like a couple of different variations of them. But if I drop the one there and then did one there. Right, how does that look? It feels like it's in part of one big building. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to purposely build a perimeter road around it. Like that. And then I'm going to try and break up the... I know it's all going to look like the same building. I completely get that. But I'm going to try and break it up right now by doing one there. And then I don't want anything too big. So I'm hoping there is like a very similar style building I can drop in. So I think that works very well. You can see where like there's like a Miami Beach vibe now going on. Like I don't want them too big though. Way too big. And they're too small, I'm thinking. So I kind of like that one. That's like an old school one. I don't know whether to kind of maybe replace this with that. So continuing the road, by the way. Because I want it to treat like individual areas. This is going to look so good when we're done. It really is. It really is. We'll drop you in just there. And these like apartment buildings have their own little kind of sea views and whatnot. All feels quite nice. And then we're going to do stuff around it. Like walkways, trees, pathways, all that kind of stuff. It looked really, really good. So we need to go for a certain type of zoning then. We have commercial, but I'm feeling high density. So you get slightly taller, but not too tall. Or do we want... I don't know if we want tall. Let's just go with it. So I'm going to do all commercial here. Right. And then we'll do the southwest medium density going all the way around here. Right, keep that going. Now, we don't really have any medium density demand, and some of those buildings will kind of terraform the edge slightly. And I'll let them do it. I'll let them do it. So we'll come back to this section. This is where it now starts to get a little bit low density. So we'll go for the waterfront properties for this area. I don't know how that's going to play out in general. That doesn't like the idea of it. Which is completely okay. So they're completely out in the sticks. This is going to be low density as well. I do like the contrasts. I really do like that. So I reckon we do a road coming off. Why did that not work? A road coming off there. And we'll do a road coming off here. I'm going to bring that out a little bit. Going to bring that out a little bit. Just bend that ever so slightly. And then we'll move that. Oh, hello, hello. Move that just going down to there. I keep forgetting to turn that off. Let me get rid of Anarchy as well. I know I keep Anarchy on a lot. Right, to there. And let me just do the world's shortest bend. Just so I can kind of feed that road down to there. And then everything else is pretty much okay. There's not really much else going on over here. So we'll do, again, those waterfront property kind of zoning just here. And then we're going to do a little bit of commercial. I do like a little bit of commercial. So I'll do a little one there. One just there. And then one there. Oh, I don't know if that one actually works. One just there. That's better. So we'll get rid of this. Just a tiny little bit of commercial there because I don't want them to be like tourist hotspots. That's not what I'm after. It's just where residents live. It gets a little bit more rural the further you go out because originally these were isolated islands only accessible by boats. I do want to build some little piers on them as well. This one's a little bit fancier, and this one's going to go through the same vibe once the demand's kicked in to start building the buildings. Did I get the building zone in? I did, yes. And remember, they've got to pass industry to get to all of this, so it's not, I wouldn't say it's the most desired of areas. No. Right, while that all builds then, I want to work with this area a little bit more, because this is where, this is like the area of the islands. So I want to go for some piers right now, and we'll go for the chunky wide ones. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stick out the pier there. Very good, very good, very good. And then we're going to try and create as many walkways as we ultimately can. So, pathways, pavement. Let's start over here then. So I think first we do there to there. And then there is room for additional zoning, but I reckon what I do is we utilize the pathways to kind of build not so much a border, but we'll see. So I want to do a little bit of freehand on this one. And then where's that snap there? So that bends round. Very nice, boys. And then we'll do one that cuts in the middle here. Into there. And that gives me two little areas there for zoning. That's very, very important. So we'll come off you and snap. Come off you and snap in just a minute. So that connects up to the pier and then back down again. So I'm going to anarchy that little connection. So keep that going. I know the shadows are like very strong in this vicinity. And then we'll make this go under the bridge. Keep it going. Bring the connection up there. So that runs in like this. That connection can actually... Because we have to anarchy these because of the drop. That runs down to that point there. We'll bring a small little one just out here. Get rid of the anarchy again. So we've now created a very, very walkable island. We just need a little bit more zoning thrown in. Unfortunately for us, we don't really have the zoning. Some of the buildings are now starting to kick in. So some will be bigger than others. No vehicles can get to the back of that one, so try a different building. You know what I mean? Don't go for that one. Right. Zoning-wise then, we'll do some... like southwest style buildings, like the larger ones. So we'll see what comes of those. We'll see what happens. We'll get in some leisure first. So large parks. I mean, there's a couple of variations we can do with this. We could do like these are boulevard style things. I'm sure we've got like longer versions of them, or am I going crazy? Large parks. I mean, that's fine. I can put one there, one there. I mean, it works. Do the same on this side. So, I keep pressing the wrong button. Little tiny park areas. I'm trying to save a lot of this stuff. So, these little them little boulevard style ones are actually probably perfect. And then little plazas where people can eat. Small playground. All near the pier, by the way. You can't really see it that well. But it's all near the pier. Got to wait for them buildings to kind of build in. Because otherwise, at the minute, it doesn't really make much sense. It kind of doesn't. Don't want to decor too much. I could drop the odd little yacht in right now. There we go. And what about a nice little sailboat? So we could have a couple of little sailboats nearby that are like anchored. They're all slightly anchored. I can do the same with like the normal yachts. Maybe these are anchored and they're just chilling. Just chilling around right now. That's actually... Oh, that looks really good. I'm already impressed. I'm already impressed right now. Do I want any rocks? I don't think I want any rocks. It's not what I'm after. I'm already impressed. Already impressed. There's already people walking around here as well. So they're finding some of this stuff very, very nice. They're enjoying the walks. They are enjoying the walks. So is there anything I would maybe additionally place down before we kind of call this a little bit of a day? We've got additional little miniature lighthouses, which could work in our favour. I don't think there's anything else required or needed. I could go as far as putting some stuff down on the beach, but that's just like... I don't know whether that's kind of going to be needed. You know what I mean? No, I don't need any of that stuff. I don't normally do prop stuff. But if it does make sense, I'm happy to do it. Maybe a couple of palm trees. On the beach. It's a very tree and greeny area in general. But I like that. And I think that's something that we should kind of like continue with the fashion. So, signature buildings anyway, commercial stuff. This is where we can just drop a few little bits and bobs down for it to make a little bit more sense. Like, the bookstore's a little bit too big, but, like, we got, like, the diner. A diner could be really nice around this area, so I might drop the diner here. So, a little off-the-road little diner area. Not amazing, but also not bad. A food station, way too big. Museum, way too big. So, this stuff might now just ultimately just be way too big. There's no ifs or buts about it. Yeah, it might be way too big. But I will give it its own little piered area. And we will do this, of course, over the beach section. So I'm going to go to there. Now, do we come off with smaller little areas? So if I was to... This could be like a rival cheaper mooring site than the others. Wonder what that was there. I thought we had like a whale in the water. No, it's the shadow of the helicopter. And where was the boats? Where was the boats right now? Is it in nature? Apparently boats are treated as nature. So, interesting. And then we'll do a sailboat. And of course, we'll have one or two. I'll do more sailboats over here. That is like kind of like locally anchored. I don't know what it is about this, but I kind of really like it. I've kind of really like it. So they're pretty good. We'll go with them. This is more of a built-up area. Lots of trees, and this is also going to need a little pier in the middle as well. So do we go? Let's go for a concrete one here. So this one's completely different altogether. And then we'll do some really skinnier variations coming off it. So this is like a more of a commercialized one. This one's so much more commercialized than the others. So let's drop in a couple of boats here. I'm going to put that on the end there just for some funsies. Just quickly dot those around. And I don't think we need to do any more than that. I think we keep it as it is. We've got the shipping route going through. I don't think any ships go through there, do they? We don't even have any cargo ships or passenger ships going through there, apart from our fishing boats. But the access is there anyway, if needs be. It is there if needs be. Right, we don't really have that much more demand at this point. So why don't we... We've got a little bit of medium density demand. So why don't we do some medium density houses? So I can do a nice little one there. We'll do one there. We'll do one there. Just to kind of fill in... Did I just do row housing? I did. I don't know how that's going to look now, thinking about it. Not too sure. Anyway, are people enjoying the walks? They are enjoying the walks. There's a lot of stuff going... We probably need to think about doing some public transport as well. Might be a good idea. Now, how many people... Actually, do you know what else we should do? Because we've got Shrimpton Keys. We need to kind of give these an area. So these need their own name, this whole area in general. Ravenwood Glen by default. If you've got any suggestions, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, let me know in the comment section down below. appreciate it right now. Appreciate it. Oh, here we go. We've got a building now starting to get built. How are those row houses? I mean, it's not bad. I kind of get it. It does fit. The style of house fits the vibe of the island. It's not a expensive island. These are kind of like the nicer ones, and then it gets like it hasn't really kind of passed down the generational wealth yet to those areas. This is the better one out of all of them. But we do need to think about public transport. Now, we do have trams coming down. We do have a tram loop, and we do have buses. So we could extend the buses, or we could utilize trams. I think we just extend the buses. Now, the buses only really... Oh, no, they go all the way down to there. So I reckon we just create a new bus route. So if I get bus shelters... So if I did one just here and here, just as the end point... And how are they all going to work? So that's going to come in round. And are we going to use that one, or should we have... Now, I can utilize them. That's fine. So we have them there. And then we'll do a bus stop there and there. I'll do a bus stop there and there. We'll do one there and there. And I suppose we only really need one in this area, and we'll drop it there. So if I create a bus route, then it starts here, makes its way down, stop in there, there, just here. Right, we've got that there because we don't know what we're going to have in this area. You can see the amount of people walking. So public transit is heavily required. And we'll bring it in a bit. So we'll do a stop here, and then we'll turn it round there. Stop there for the trams. Last stop there. So it's slightly integrated nicely within that additional loop. But we've got an extension, and then connect you into here. Now, that route in question, bus line 8, is going to drop on 9 buses, which we don't need. We'll do the minimum of 4. 4 buses is probably all we require. Right. So what are those style of building, the sizes that they're bringing in? We can deal with that. We can deal with that. I think that sets this area up quite nice. That's built itself up as well. So you could argue we could do a few little additional roads. So let's just say we had you. And then we bended you in. Just to kind of, I mean, nothing's really going to get built there. It's just to kind of like fill the gap a bit more visually. Yeah, maybe it was a bit pointless. Probably. Probably. Now, do we go around the outskirts of this with our dirt road? I think so, just for one purpose. The crossing here for people trying to get to the bus stop. They can then walk down here. A little bit of an easy connection rather than going all the way around. Doesn't do wonders for us, but the fact that there's loads of people now waiting at the bus stops is a good sign. So we're waiting for buses. We're waiting for the first buses to arrive. So where are the buses? Oh, okay. Where are you? Okay, that makes sense. No, wait, that does not make sense. Where's the bus? Wait, do we have enough buses, is the question? They're not complaining about not enough buses, are they? Where's... Hold on, let me grab the route. Bus line 8. Where are the buses? So we have a bus depot over here, which definitely has enough buses. So I ain't too sure what's going on. These are... I mean, they're not even for the routes that I want. I ain't sure what's going on with these bus routes. Maybe they despawned at some point and then we're just having to wait for them to respawn again. But people are waiting for the buses, which is good. It's a good sign. It will heavily reduce the amount of people walking across the bridges, which you could deem to be dangerous in high winds. But I do worry about bus line 8. Okay, now we've got buses on. Okay, the buses are now going around. There's the first bus. It is filled. Understandable. The first one's always going to be heavily populated. But off it goes. And then once they start circulating a bit more, it will get rid of the bulk of the passengers. Up the hill it comes. Dropping off. Only got 8 people on board. Because the next couple of stops are not that populated. It's mainly them coming back is where that bus is going to get busy. So off it goes again. Last island of them all. And it's got now 8 people on board from there, doing the old loop ski. And this is where it gets busy going back again. So I'm not sure how many are waiting at the first stop. There's a few, but not that many. And there's the other bus that just passed us. But it should now be completely filled to the brim after this stop. Yeah. Right, it's going to take some time to move the bulk of passengers. And then we'll come back and re-evaluate it. Is what we'll do. But I think it's a nice little addition. I think this adds a little bit more to the area. And I think that's something that we should do more of, is placing down more little marinas. If anybody else agrees, let me know in the comment section down below. I think we do need more marinas around the areas of FishTown. It does make a lot of sense. It really does. That issue with the amount of boats has kind of subsided. I think the main issue was I didn't have enough storage, but it is now being emptied, so we are seeing progression. But yes, more marinas are probably needed. I think we can all agree with that. But apart from that, any new tourists? No. What do we need to do to get tourists? I'll never know. Never know, boys. How many people are living in the brand new area? Wow, 1,500. Not too shabby. Right, we'll end it here, boys. Hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, please smash the like button down below. Until next time, I see you all soon. So goodbye.